I see the player you mean, Germs94. Yes, take care. It's reached a higher level now. It can read our thoughts. That doesn't matter. It's a part of the game. I like this player. It played well. It did not give up. That is how it chooses to imagine many things when it is deep in a dream of a game. They used to hear voices before players could read. Back in the days when those who did not play called the players witches and warlocks. In Player's dream, they flew through the air on sticks powered by demons. What did this player dream? This player dreamed of sunlight and trees, of fire and water. It dreamed it created and it dreamed it destroyed. It dreamed it hunted and was hunted. It dreamed of shelter. Ha! The original interface a million years old, and it still works. But what true structure did this player create in the reality behind the screen? It worked with a million others to sculpt a true world in a fold of this blank and created a blank for blank in the blank. No, it has not yet achieved the highest level that it must achieve in the long dream of life, not the short dream of the game. Does it know that we love it? That the universe is kind? Sometimes, through the noise of its thoughts, it hears the universe, yes, but there are times it is sad in the long dream. It creates worlds that have no summer, and it shivers under a black sun, and it takes its sad creation for reality. To cure it, if sorrow would destroy it, the sorrow is part of its own private task. We cannot interfere. Sometimes, when they are deep in dreams, I want to tell them they are building true worlds in reality. Sometimes I want to tell them of their importance to the universe. Sometimes, when they have not made a true connection in a while, I want to help them to speak the world they fear. It reads our thoughts. Sometimes I do not care. Sometimes I wish to tell them this world you take for truth is merely blank and blank. I wish to tell them that they are blank in the blank. They see so little of reality in their long dream, and yet they play the game. Too strong for this dream to tell them to live is to prevent them from living. The player is growing restless, but not the truth. No, a story that contains the truth safely in a cage of words, not the naked truth that can burn over any distance. Give it a body again. Use its name. Germs94, player of games. Good. Take a breath. Now take another. Feel the air in your lungs. Let your limbs return. Yes, move your fingers. Have a body again. Under gravity, in air, respawn in the long dream. There are There you are. Your body is touching the universe again, at every point, as though you were separate things, as though we were separate things. Who are we? Once we were called the spirit of mountain, father, sun, mother, moon, ancestral spirits, animal spirits, jinn, ghosts, the green man, then gods, demons, angels, poltergeist, aliens, extraterrestrials, leptons, quarks. The words change. We do not change. We are the universe. We are everything you think isn't you. You are looking at us now through your skin and your eyes. And why does the universe touch your skin and throw light on you? To see you, player, to know you, and known. I shall tell you a story. Once upon a time, there was a player. The player was you, Germs94. Sometimes it thought itself human. On the thin crust of a spinning globe of molten rock, the ball was of molten rock circled a ball of blazing gas that was 330,000 times more massive than it. They were so far apart that light took 8 minutes to cross the gap. The light was information from a star. and it could burn your skin from 150 million kilometers away. Sometimes the player dreamed it was a miner on the surface of a world that was flat and infinite. The sun was a square of white. The days were short. There was much to do, and death was only a temporary inconvenience. Sometimes the player dreamed it was lost in a story. Sometimes the player dreamed it was other things in other places. Sometimes these dreams were disturbing, sometimes very beautiful indeed. Sometimes the player woke from a dream into another, then woke from that dream into a third. Sometimes the player dreamed it watched words on a screen. Let's go back. The atoms of a player were scattered in the grass, in the rivers, in the air, in the ground. A woman gathered the atoms. She drank and ate and inhaled, and the woman assembled the player in her body. And the player awoke from a warm, dark world of its mother's body into the long dream. And the player was a new story, never told before, written in letters of DNA. And the player was a new program never run before, generated by a source code of 1 billion years old. And the player was a new human, never alive before, made from nothing but milk and love. Let's go further back. The 7 billion atoms of the player's body were created long before this game, in the heart of a star. So the player too is information from a star, and the players moves through a story, which is a forest of information planted by a man called Julian on a flat infinite world created by a man called Marcus that exists inside a small private world created by the player who inhabits a universe created by Shush. Sometimes the player created a small private world that was soft and warm and simple, sometimes hard and cold and complicated. Sometimes it built a model of the universe in its head, flecks of energy moving through vast empty spaces. Sometimes it called those flecks electrons and protons. Sometimes it called them planets and stars. Sometimes it believed it was in a universe that was made of energy, that was made of offs and on ones, zeros and ones, lines of code. Sometimes it believed it was playing a game. Sometimes it believed it was reading words on a screen. You are the player, reading words. Shush. Sometimes the player read lines of code on a screen, decoded them into words, decoded words into meaning, decoding meaning into feelings, emotions, theories, ideas, and the player started to breathe faster and deeper and realized it was alive. It was alive. Those 1,000 deaths had not been real. The player was alive. And sometimes the player believed the universe had spoken to it through the sunlight that came through the shuffling leaves of the summer trees. And sometimes that player believed the universe had spoken to it through the light that fell from the crisp night sky of winter, where a fleck of light in the corner of the player's eye might be a star 1 million times as massive as the sun, boiling its planets to plasma in order to be visible for a moment to the player. Walking home at a far side of the universe, suddenly smelling food, almost at the familiar door, about to dream again. And sometimes the player believed the universe had spoken to it through the zeros and ones, through the electricity of the world, through the screen, scrolling words on a screen at the end of the dream. And the universe said, "You have played the game well." The universe said, "You are stronger than you know." And the universe said, "You are the night." And the universe said, "The light you seek is within you." And the universe said, "You are not separate from every other thing." And the universe said, "You are the universe, tasting itself, talking to itself, reading its own code." And the universe said, "I love you because you are love." and the game was over, and the player woke up from that dream, and the player began a new dream, and the player dreamed again, dreamed better, and the player was the universe, and the player was love. You are the player. Well, I've never read that before all the way through. That's really cool. So if you like this video, subscribe. It's just kind of a random video I just wanted to do because I've never read the end poem. All right. So that's my first time ever reading the end poem. So Slimy Elias later. Love you. Bye.